Now on CoastTV News.
A major milestone reached for a marathon runner in Rehoboth Beach today. A flippered friend's journey after being rescued. We have the latest on this gray seal's whereabouts. And park problems in Milford. Why community members and the mayor say a park proposal may need tweaking.
Well, we managed to squeeze out some sunshine this afternoon after a cloudy, gloomy start to the weekend. Temperatures have pushed into the lower 60s. I'm tracking even milder air moving in for our Monday ahead of a few cold fronts that are going to bring a series of showers and storms and then a cool down midweek. We'll talk all about it coming up in my full forecast.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Running through Rehoboth, this man completing an inspiring mission right here on the coast. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight crossing the finish line. I think we can all agree running one marathon, it's no easy task. One man decided to run 50 marathons in all 50 states. And that person finished their last race today in Rehoboth Beach. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us his journey.
After hundreds of miles on foot, Ranjit Singh has finally completed his mission.
His 50th marathon in 50 states.
When I started the journey, I thought I will finish in 2 years, but I finished in 20 months.
On Sunday, Rehoboth Beach had their annual Coastal Delaware Running Festival in town, with the marathon stretching over 26 miles long, and people cheering everyone on as they ran by. And Singh decided to make the run in Delaware his last stop to complete his goal of running 50 marathons in all 50 states.
Delaware is the youngest state, so I started from the Alaska. That was my first race, and this is the last actually.
What was planned to be a 2-year journey running marathons finished early, only taking him 20 months to run, leaving him with no breaks.
Every two weeks I was running marathon.
His family and the YMCA were by his side, with the Y even lending him his own van to drive across the country and promote his journey. Singh is grateful to finally finish what he started, and believes everyone can run a marathon if they just take the steps.
Always tell them actually, don't plan big actually, just go baby step and just go one step at a time actually. It is doable, everybody can run, I can say.
So what's the next step for Singh? First, he's going to take some time and celebrate running 50 marathons in 50 states, and then he plans to run from LA to Boston. I'm Kevin Zapay in Rehoboth Beach, CoastTV News.
We have an update today about a seal. This gray seal that Mayor picked up at Gordon's Pond on Wednesday has made it to its rehab home on Cape Cod. He stopped for fluids in New Jersey, according to Mayor, then arrived at the National Marine Life Center last night. Very cute. Looks like he's settling in nicely there in Cape Cod. Now we go to Milford. One proposal there has not exactly been a walk in the park. City leaders discussing next steps for the Deep Branch Park project. They're discussing that this week. The 19-acre Deep Branch Park is proposed on an empty field right off Rehoboth Boulevard. But there is a neighborhood right next to that lot, and some people living there are concerned about traffic. Milford Mayor Todd Culotta says the city may have to reconsider the location, but not the idea.
One of our major concerns is the driving area coming into the park. Whether or not the lighting is going to impinge on the property for the property owners that are along that way.
Some, like the idea of green space in a park. I mean, nobody doesn't like that. It's just a matter of where it goes, who it affects, and our ability to support it.
And city leaders are expected to discuss the proposal at tomorrow's council meeting. The mayor says they'll discuss in detail the project's next steps there in Milford. New tonight, Delaware State Police are investigating an attempted robbery in Dover. They say it happened here at the Smoke Beast Smoke Shop on Gateway South Boulevard. Investigators say a man threatened an employee with a handgun but ran off without taking anything. The suspect is being described as a light-skinned black male in dark clothing, including a mask and gloves. Anyone with information is asked to contact Delaware State Police. And here's a live look outside now into Dover from our Bay Health camera. And our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, is going to join us now for a check on the forecast.
Hey there, Christina. Yeah, it only took till the second half of the weekend to finally get some blue skies out there, but we are seeing warmer conditions. We were in the 40s yesterday. Check out, we are plus 15 degrees warmer here in Georgetown, 13 degrees warmer in Salisbury, and 13 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. You could see those blue skies in Dover. We're at 61 in Dover, so we're rallying with some sunshine here to end the weekend. 59 in Rehoboth Beach. We're at 60 in Georgetown and 59 in Delmar. You can see the clouds exiting stage right. We're kind of between systems here. Area of low pressure in the northeast. We have high pressure building in. These clouds are going to filter in overnight as a warm front lifts to the north, and that warm front is going to allow temperatures to push into the lower 70s tomorrow throughout much of the peninsula. Now, we are tracking a series of cold fronts, the first of which will bring a round of showers and storms late tomorrow night into early Tuesday, and then another cold front Tuesday into Wednesday that's unfortunately going to usher in some unseasonably cool temperatures, and we could be even talking about frost potential come Thursday morning. We'll have a talk about the storms, and then we'll check out that Easter forecast coming up a little bit later on. Christina?
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, electronics imported to the U.S. will be exempt from President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs, at least temporarily. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at how the ongoing trade war will impact your wallet.
U.S. markets closing Friday following a tumultuous week of ups and downs after President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff announcements. Then hours after they took effect, Trump rolling some of them back. But enormous tariffs remain in effect on China.
I lowered the tariffs on everybody, but we've been making a lot of money, and it's always been the other way around.
Chinese imports will now face a minimum 145% tariff rate. Beijing raised its tariffs on U.S. imports to 125%. Caught in the middle are U.S. consumers and business owners who are now faced with much higher prices.
We're quoting a client one day for a product, and then the very next day we have to give them another quote. And that roller coaster is not something that we can survive on as small business owners.
Trump made electronic imports exempt from the tariffs, which means the prices of smartphones, computers, and other electronics may not be affected. But the price of many other items like cars, food, and clothing coming from other countries could go up. Opponents slamming the decision.
This is the worst self-inflicted wound through economic policy since the Second World War.
Trump is hoping the tariffs will bring more manufacturing jobs to the U.S. Some economists agree.
I'm really concerned by the people who look at the situation and say, no, what we really should do is just what we've been doing since the year 2000, which is embrace this kind of hyper-globalization that has not worked well for America at all.
While Trump has paused many of his proposed tariffs, the White House says they'll revisit them in the coming months. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And we are just getting started this evening. Coming up ahead, more lunch options could be coming to Georgetown. Why town leaders are doing this week to open the door for more street food this summer.
Well, if you have any late evening dinner plans, looking pretty nice. We're going to have clear skies, but then clouds will increase through the overnight. Not too bad as far as temperatures. We're going to bottom out lower to mid-40s tonight ahead of a nice 70-degree day tomorrow. We'll talk all about that and some storm potential tomorrow night in my full forecast.
But first, a change in plans. Some of Milton's biggest events are moving off their usual path. We'll tell you which ones and why. We'll have those stories and more when we return in just 60 seconds.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Well, downtown Milton has been the hub for Pride Fest and Zombie Fest in past years, but this year things are going to look a little different. The Pride Fest will be moving off the streets, and Zombie Fest is moving to Hudson Fields. As CoastTV reporter Brendan Conroy shows us, the Milton Theater says it had no choice but to make these changes.
Both Pride Fest and Zombie Fest will still go on, but according to the theater's director of operations, J.C. Brittingham, she says they had asked the town for an invoice up front, but did not receive them. Still, she says these events will happen with the same energy as previous years.
Making the most out of a little bump in the road.
It wasn't an option for us not to do Pride. It's also not an option for us to not do Zombie Fest.
That's the Milton Theater's mission following changes to some of the events in town. While Pride Fest and Zombie Fest are still on schedule like normal, location and size will be different from years prior.
We put our heart and soul into every single thing that we do here, and we want to make sure that we are still doing these events for the community.
Dobar owner Kristen Latham tells Coast TV they look forward to these events every year to see both new and returning faces. These changes have her worried about profits.
We're a small town. You know, we've had a lot of businesses in this town, and we thrive when our town thrives. When our town is busy, we're busy.
We spoke with Milton's mayor, and he says he can't speak as to why the theater is moving events outside of the downtown area or what costs have to do with the decision. John Groves lives right around the corner in Lewis and is a longtime member of the Milton Theater. He says he knows things happen and plans can change, but wishes these events never did.
I can see the pros and cons, certainly, but Milton is a nice small town. It has a lot of character, and there's a little bit of tradition there, so it's kind of sad to see that disrupted. It would really be nice if they could figure out a way to keep the tradition alive.
A slight change to the location, but not the tradition. In Milton, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
Coming up next, volunteers needed. The plea for help from Milton's Cheer Center when we return on Coast TV News at 6.
Well, this is a good sight. Finally seeing some blue skies out of Ocean City. Some cumulus clouds out there as we're rallying with some sunshine to round out the weekend. 58 degrees right now in Ocean City. Pretty nice evening as we fall to around 50 by around 10. Clear skies. Then we'll see some clouds on the increase late. We're at 59 right now in Milton, 60 Georgetown, 60 in Bethany Beach, and pretty impressive to get those temperatures up to around 60 still with a northerly wind flow. Seeing some gusts upwards of 20 in Indian River Inlet and 22 in Salisbury. The smoke-craft advisory remains in effect for the bay. That's up until about 7 o'clock tonight. You can see those stubborn clouds finally exiting, all thanks to that coastal low, which is pushing up into Maine and Canada. High pressure building in. These clouds are going to filter in overnight ahead of a warm front that's going to be moving in tomorrow, and that cold front back to the west is going to be moving in tomorrow night. You can see very hot back off to the west, 92 Dallas, 84 in Topeka. We're going to tap into some of this warmer air come tomorrow. Now, as far as tonight goes, we're going to dip down into the mid-40s, I think, for most areas under cloudy skies. So we start the week warm. It's a brief warm-up. Cold front comes through tomorrow night, bringing us a few showers and storms. And then we have a brief cool shot midweek, which could bring a potential frost come Thursday morning. So there's the setup into your Monday. Warm front pushing to the north. Temperatures tomorrow pretty nice. 71 in Milford. We'll see 71 in Millsboro. Winds out of the south anywhere between about say 5 to 10 miles an hour. 71 in Salisbury, 69 Pocomoke City. So there's the clouds to start. Maybe a brief sprinkle as that warm front pushes to the north, but by the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures in the 70s. Then as we go into Monday night, after about 10, 11 o'clock, we're going to see a cold front push through. Could see a round of showers and storms, especially northern Delmarva. Not expecting anything widespread as far as it looks now. And then we turn breezier into Tuesday. So there's those showers and storms. Potentially a gusty thunderstorm into early Tuesday morning. Not looking at anything severe at this point. You could see the severe threat is to our west from D.C., Baltimore into West Virginia. But it is going to turn quite breezy, especially as we get into Tuesday and then Wednesday with gusts anywhere between 30 to 40. Wednesday, quite a blustery day. Sunshine, but as that cold front pushes through, we're going to struggle to get it to the 60-degree mark. And as I mentioned, yes, say it ain't so, potential frost as we go into your Thursday morning. So keep that in mind. But it's a brief shot of cooler air because by Good Friday, we're up to 68, 77 into Saturday. Can't rule out a spotty shower Saturday, but right now we're going with mainly dry conditions and a temperature of 71 into your Easter Sunday.
All right. Thanks again, Chris. Well, the Milton Cheer Center is just one of 7 locations that say they need volunteers. Cheer is a senior center that provides programs, meals, and resources to people 50 and older. The CEO of Cheer says they're looking for those who want to volunteer in the kitchen or deliver meals. She says she wants everyone to realize their programs are a necessity for many people. And if you want to become a volunteer, you can apply online or stop by your local Cheer Center for an application. Coming up next, a busy week ahead on Delmarva. We'll show you what's happening from groundbreakings to council meetings. Looking ahead to what's happening this week on Delmarva, tomorrow at 10 a.m., NASA's Wallops Flight Facility will break ground on a new Causeway Bridge. It's set to replace the only road connecting the mainland to its launch site. And also happening this week, Georgetown Town Council meets tomorrow at 7 p.m. On their agenda is a request to allow food trucks on East Market Street twice a month from May until August. And coming up next, a presidential health check. Trump's doctor shares his latest assessment. New today, the White House physician says President Trump is in, quote, excellent health. Dr. Sean Barbarella says 78-year-old Trump is fully fit to execute the duties of commander-in-chief. The doctor says an exam of Trump's heart, lungs, eyes, hearing, and abdomen were all normal. He also says a comprehensive neurological exam found no abnormalities. CoastTV News at 6 will be right back. Easter is, of course, right around the corner, and you can start your Easter Sunday with music and meaningful conversations if you celebrate with Sunrise Sermons 2025, The Final Sacrifice. Services begin at 7 a.m. on Coast Country, 9:30 a.m. on the Delmarva Sports Network, and 10:30 a.m. here on Coast TV.
And as always, you can get your latest forecast by dialing our First Alert weather phone. And your Paul Davis 10-day forecast shows a nice 71 tomorrow. Watching showers and storms late tomorrow night into Tuesday. Briefly cooled down. Could see some frost there Thursday morning, but looking pretty mild as far as Easter weekend is concerned. Could see a brief shower there on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Chris, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 6 tonight. Join us again for Coast TV News at 11 p.m. And until then, have a great evening.